Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with this week's release, and it's the triangular exploding box collection. So there are two. There's this really pretty wedding or congratulations box. It's an either or with an alternative mat there, which has a 3-tier cake inside, which I've added a few of the rose flowers. Apart from that, everything else you see in this design, the balloons and the little banner, are all included with the SVG file. So isn't that pretty? And the one that we're going to be making today is the same basic shaped box. It just folds in on those triangular corners and then the lid pops on. So there we have. The one we're making today will actually have a little vase of flowers in the centre instead of the box, but I will show you how to create one of the layers of the cake, and they're all three are the same. So these are all the pieces that have been partially pre-done for this particular box. As you can appreciate, there's quite a few pieces here, so I've sort of done quite a bit of matting and layering. I've prepared the flowers that I'm going to use for this one. But we'll talk you through and show you how everything goes together. So I've pre-scored all the lines on the base of the box. The vertical and horizontal lines go one way and the corners come in the opposite way. So if you push the corners, they go in the way, okay? And the box folds up. You have the same decor pieces on the outside with the exception of the centerpiece as you do on the outside, so it just folds up to all fit together. That's your base mat. Then we have your lid, which has mat 1 on the edges and the centre, and a mat 2 decor panel, which is the happy birthday. There's one of the pieces of the cake, and there's actually 3 layers. They're all on the same mat for the base piece. Then the pale pink is mat 1, the cerise pink is mat 2, which I've done a little bit of glittering on it. It's my version of icing dripping down on the side of a cake. So I think you can see the 4 tiny holes on the corners. I've just put a pokey tool through those. They're deliberately small because it depends on the size of your cocktail stick or what you're going to hold the banners and the balloons, what you're going to put those on as to what you push through. So this is the little vase that's going to be holding this pretty little bouquet, which I've used tiger flowers, the first 2 tiger lilies, I should say. I've used the first 2 smallest sizes and just put them in a little bouquet and wrapped them with florist tape. These are the balloons. I've just glittered some randomly thought out decoration on those. I've added a couple of flowers to the double balloon. I'll show you how to attach the little swirl piece, the little string on the bottom. That's the banner, which I've added the cocktail sticks, which you can put on the base of the box, but that is a separate base to this one that we're doing. So this one is the birthday exploding box. And we just need to start off with a little bit of matting and layering. The final piece, I've done all the rest, and I've already done all the pre-glittering so that it's dry. Didn't want to be sort of gluing when you've still got wet glitter, so that's all been pre-done. So you've got 9 panels in total that are all on the mat 1. The cerise pink is on one mat, and the mat 2 decor, all the pieces are on mat 2 decor mat. So they're all together. There's 4 go on the outside of the box, 4 on the inside, and then you've got the square central panel. And you see I've also gone round all these pieces on the edge with the scoreboard to give me that nice rounded beveled edge. So we're ready to now add all those to the box. The little flower vase will sit in the centre. The wedding box doesn't have a centrepiece because that third tier of the cake is almost the size of the centre of that box. So you don't need the decor mat there, so it's not there on the wedding box, but it is on the birthday box. So I'm just explaining the differences between the two designs. The base and the way that they're made up is exactly the same, but it's just the actual decor, how it's done. I'm just speeding up the matting and layering here, so I'm lining up on each side to make sure that they're all in a line. And they're matching up to that central panel, so if you put that one in first and then work around the outsides. So that's all the base of the box complete. Now we're going to do the third tier of the cake. I'm actually gluing the tabs now for the third tier. I should have added the final piece of the matting and layering on the side that you can see it's missing there. Do it before you do this. I forgot about it until I'd glued the pieces, and then I thought, oh well, it doesn't really matter. It's easy enough to add afterwards, but it's better if you do it so while it's still flat down. So I've just folded back the secondary score line so that I can get inside just to burnish those tabs into position. Folding the other side. If you just look, I'm just folding that back out of the way just so that I can get into those tabs. It's like a reinforced box, is this. It would be if you just turned it and put those in flat. But for this, I'm just folding them in and gluing them into position, not actually putting them to the inside of the box. So I'm just going to add glue to the outer 1/2 inch on either side of one side of the tabs, and then you can just fold the other sides in. You can get your fingers inside the hole just to firm them down. And what I'm going to do is just turn that upside down and just put something with a little bit of weight on top just until it burnishes down. Because it's a plinth, you can't actually do it flat, so just popping something with a bit of weight on there. In the meantime, I'll add the last piece of the icing to the decor on the side, on the missing mats for the side of the box. We'll leave that to just dry a little bit, and in the meantime bring in the box lid. And we can finish off the matting and layering here. Again, I've already done some, so it's just the 4th panel and the centre, which has got the mat of the happy birthday, and I've done a little bit of glittering. And again, just finishing exactly like you would an ordinary box, just on the corners, and I'm just popping some paper clips on the ends just to hold it until we're ready. So we can now bring in our third tier of the cake. Add the missing mat that I forgot to put on earlier. So that's that piece now completed. And I'm now going to add the base piece onto the bottom. You can either hot glue this or wet glue, it doesn't really matter, but I will be hot gluing this box to the other 2 of the cake. So that just goes onto the bottom just to close and neaten everything off. You don't need to add that because it is going directly down onto the base of your box, but I just like to finish everything off. So I'm now going to hot glue the boxes together, and then I've got the 3-tier cake. And you can decorate with any small flowers or whatever you like, really. There's provided the balloons. So the only thing that doesn't come with this design, you've got all the mats, layers, the balloons, the banners, the text. The only thing that doesn't come with the design is the rose flowers which I've used on the wedding box, or the tiger lily flower that I've added to this birthday one. Everything else is included in the SVG. It's so, so pretty. And what I did on the cocktail sticks on the wedding one, I just added a little bit of glitter down the stem. With this one I didn't do because they were pushed down into the flowers, so you couldn't really see the cocktail stick per se. So we're now going to put together the little vase. I'm just adding the fourth piece, the fourth decor piece, to the fourth vase piece. Again, I've pre-glittered so that everything's dry. Just that last piece needed adding, just so you can see how I'm adding. It goes up to it's a mat inside of the score line, I should say. So now I'm just adding glue to the side teeth. Don't bother about the bottom, just keep that out of the way. And I found that the easiest way is just to flatten those tabs down and just press it together flat. So there's your first panel, okay? And we're going to repeat that 4 times. It makes like a little inverted, fluted type of shaped vase. It's really pretty actually when it's finished. So we're going to repeat that now with each of these panels. Just add glue to the tab, press that in flat. You can do that for 3 sides. On the 4th one obviously you can't. So this is the 3rd one coming in. And again you can press it flat. Just keep the base tab out of the way. And the final one, and this one you'll have to put your finger inside to push the tabs into position. Just line up top and bottom, and then you can just get your fingers inside. Just press those tabs down. So there's our cute little vase. Now we need to push the tabs down. And because they're tiny, I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue to hold those in place. That will go into the centre. There's a little base piece to hold all those pieces. Like I said, I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue to those little tiny tabs. Just push down, just purely because it's quicker. And for tiny ones, if you use wet glue, it takes a few minutes, so it's quicker for the video more than anything for me to use the hot glue. I'm going to wet glue this. Again, it could have been hot glued. I'm just wet gluing this piece, the base. So again, it's closing up the base of the vase. And there we go. I'm just going to get inside that in a minute just to push the tabs down and make sure everything's down and secure. And now we can add that to the centre of our box. Again, hot glue into position, and it sits just sort of inside the curl of the large swirl. You can see there. So it sort of fits in the centre of the swirl that's in the middle there. So now we can add a cute little bouquet. The only thing you've got to watch when you're creating these is the height. So I've just fastened a few flowers. They're wired on stems, and I've just fastened them together with florist tape. Just be careful. You're limited in the height, okay, to the height of the box. The lid is 1 inch deep, so you've got a little bit of wiggle room, but just be careful. It's just keep it at the back of your mind while you're putting all these together for the centre. So the balloons, there's a little tail, and add the pointed end a little bit of hot glue to the pointed end there to the base of the balloon. So again, I'm just hot gluing it on there. And you've got the little squirrely tail. So I've added 2 together there. I've just glued 2 together. I've added a couple of flowers just to fill up the little vase. So I'm just going to add those 3 in there. It's just a matter of getting them until you're happy with your formation. The banner, I'm just going to sit in front of the balloons. If you look, I've just added hot glue to the outer corners. And I'm just going to pop that in front of the balloons, and it will give, because it goes to the outside, it's going to come in to fit inside the vase, so it's going to give it a little bit of a shape. It's going to curve the shape of the banner, which I think looks really, really pretty. And if you want to secure everything down there, because again, if it's popping up, it's going to be a problem for your lid. So I've just added a tiny little bit of hot glue, and I'm just going to secure that in position to the sides of the vase. So make sure it's pushed down. I'm going to do the same thing with the balloons. You may need to nip a little bit of length off your cocktail sticks. It depends. I have just taken the pointed end off, if you look at that on the balloons. It's just to secure them in place so everything will hold. And there's our little exploding box completed. Isn't that pretty? So we're putting the balloons on the other side and a couple of the little flowers. No matter which way round that's turned, it's going to look pretty all the way, which is what I did with the wedding cake. I added something on each side so that it can be looked at from 4 ways. Just fold in those corners to close up the box, and the lid just pops on the top. So there we have our birthday box. There's the wedding cake, so it's the vase that goes with the birthday box, the cake that goes with the wedding box. So the 2 separate SVG files. Like I said, the tiger lily flowers and the rose flowers are extras, but I hope you like it. Until the next time, bye for now.